Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll unpack the stories behind successful startups, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Brodie Whitney, also known as the Purpose Quest. Brodie is a master purpose coach and the founder of MVP Men, the Purpose Quest. He guides passionate entrepreneurs, especially men seeking alignment between success and purpose, through immersive retreats, mastermind communities, and purposeful coaching. Experience the merge mindset, mission, and momentum. Brodie, very warm welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
With my guests, I look to start at the beginning of their journey. So let's dive into it. Can you take me back to the beginning of your journey and then what prompted you to start up the company from there?
First time I ever asked myself, who am I really? I was 17 years old, walking back to high school. I recognized that I fit in with all the different groups. And I was like, wait, I changed myself depending on what group I'm hanging out with.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of my spiritual journey. Who am I really? That led me to a career as a custom furniture maker, living in the woods, working intimately with the forest and just natural elements. I lived without electricity for 8 years, raised my family, built a circular straw bale, had this whole other life. And that was a really key piece of basically saying to myself, I'm going to find my path and I'm going to walk it, whatever that is. And in terms of my coaching and business development, my business development really began as a custom furniture maker, trying to build a business, having no clue about anything about business. And it was my father-in-law at the
I was gonna say, hopefully you had a clue. Hopefully you had a clue about building some furniture because that.
I was able to build furniture
Nice.
very well. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, what I always say is my passion became my prison, and that furniture business, what was once so fulfilling and rewarding, became how do I get out of this? I need to do something different. My body was taking a toll, and I felt isolated from people. I'm a people person. And so at a certain point, I had a breaking point in gluing up a chair. I just put the whole thing down in the middle of the glue up, unfinished. I'm sure it ended up in some contorted shape. I shut the breaker down, locked the door behind me, and I turned around. I looked up to the sun and I said, I'm done. What's next? And I essentially went on a vision quest and basically just cleared my mind, walked and meditated for the next few weeks until I got these reoccurring visions and answers of it was the same thing every time with different images, and it kept saying, you're here to inspire people. And that was 2008. And that was the first time I heard about life coaching. Someone said, hey, I just heard of this interview and this thing called life coaching, and I thought of you. And I remember reading the paragraph about life coaching and thinking, you got to be kidding me. Like, people do this for a living. And I think I need a coach. And I did both.
Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing. And in 2008, it must have been pretty new, sector to come into. Is that fair in me saying? Where I feel like now it's quite a momentum, it's quite a movement, it's quite on trend.
Nobody had a clue.
I'm looking for you at the start of that in 2008. What was that like?
Every year before that, I had a furniture booth at the local town fair. And then that year, I just had a simple booth. I made a little sign that said life coaching and some drapes. And most people gave me this weird side glance like, life coaching, what the heck is that? What's Brodie doing now? But I had 18 people come into the booth that weekend, had 18
Amazing.
powerful, transformative conversations. And I was just like, I love this. I'm going to do this. And that was the beginning.
How cool. And then let's dive into maybe what the business is like today. So how exactly is it that you help people? How is it that you work with people? What would it be like for the listeners out there to gain some more context?
Certainly having incredible coaches along the way, working for the top companies on the planet, and being a coach and living as a coach, living in alignment with what I coach on. It's deepened my purpose. It's deepened my capacity and what I have access to. I'm very much into learning and expanding and growth. Always have stayed in alignment with what's my purpose and that path. And it's guided me to this place where right now I run a group called MVP Men, which stands for Mission, Vision, Purpose. It's helping entrepreneurs and leaders align in their mission, vision, purpose, mostly around brotherhood. We do a couple of retreats each year. We go surfing, we do deep dives, we do a vision quest. I also work one to one, mostly entrepreneurs, CEOs, founders, and a lot of it ends up being personal because who we are in our personal life and how we're doing massively impacts how we can lead and function in our and grow our businesses. And so a combination of personal and professional coaching seems to be what people end up wanting, even if they strictly come for business growth. And right now, I've just been welcomed into what's called the Impact Accelerator. And it's an accelerator for founders and investors and advisors. I'm an advisor who are focused on companies making positive impact. And this is a great opportunity for me to take some of what I've done already and really make it an offering in terms of helping companies and teams identify their direction, their next steps, their purpose, that deeper why of what they do to improve company culture, motivation, and impact, and just to connect with their
Yeah.
customers in a deeper way.
How wild. And you did mention it before, but I feel like very much the business world and even entrepreneurship, founders, top level CEOs, whatever it may be, they miss the mark that their personal being is always as important as themselves, like when they're running that business and how they
Yeah.
don't intertwine so much. Is that kind of a concept that you have to keep reimbursing to people when you speak to them, or does it just naturally come out once you kind of get
Basically, a coaching session is typically what's your biggest challenge that you want to focus on for this call? And someone might, it doesn't take long for someone to say, I'm struggling in my relationship,
yeah,
or I need to be in better physical shape and I can't get a good sleep, or I'm overworking or overeating, or I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. I'm not sure what my purpose is, and I'm really struggling to focus at work. So they're real factors when it comes to how we show up in our business and in our work.
yeah, 100%. So you
Yeah.
have the platform itself, MVP Men, and then one-to-one coaching retreats on top of that, and then moving into the newer space as you just mentioned. I know you have a podcast on top of that, so how does that all tie in together as one?
Underlying all of this, my entire focus, everything comes through the lens of purpose. It's
Yeah,
very challenging to communicate that in an engaging way. A lot of people aren't really thinking, what's my purpose? They just want to figure out how to make more money, how to create a better lifestyle, how to get in better shape. So underneath all this is that lens. That's why it's called the Purpose Quest. I've also worked with young adults and students quite a bit, and I'm just moving into a period when I'm going to dedicate a day per week
right.
to two or three colleges and universities and just get in there with their students and help them identify direction. But that's the unifying factor is for me, I found it incredibly debilitatingly difficult to identify my purpose, so much so I actually completely had a mental break trying to find
Yeah,
answers to big life questions as a young adult. And I actually completely lost my mind and came back on the other side and started finding answers. It was one of the hardest experiences of my life, which ended up being one of the most productive. And then ever since then, at 22 years old to now 50, I've continued to get answers to help people in all areas, whether it's relationship, business, personal, spiritual, to help identify what am I supposed to be doing now?
yeah,
Yeah,
amazing. And who is it that you like to work with? So who would be your ideal customer off the back of that?
I love people who want to make a difference in the world, who love to learn and grow, who are obviously coachable, that don't already feel like they have all the answers. And one of the most satisfying, one of the most satisfying, what did I say? The people who I get most excited about when I work with them is young adults who are coming into the world. For some reason, it looks like the hair on my body stands up, my heart opens. I just get so excited when a young person's eyes light up and they get it, like what they're here for. But even, for example, right now in this new role as an advisor for larger companies, Finding a founder who's passionate about what they do, who's created something amazing and he wants to scale it and bring it to the world on a whole other level. And I get to be part of that. I mean, that's pretty awesome. And then
Really cool.
working with men, I feel like the world is in need of much greater leadership. There's a lot of men in leadership roles, and I want better leadership. I want better fathers, leaders, husbands, and men in the world. And so that's part of my mission as well, starting with myself.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Do you feel like that's a thing that's missing in society at the moment? Is that level of leadership? Or is it just always been a struggle that
Like, I think about young people coming into the world right now and seeing this is their first glance at leadership, global leadership. Where's the
yeah.
unifying force? Where's the communication? Where's the true service? Where's the
Yeah.
heart? You can find some of it in some of the countries. It is amazing. There are areas where there's great things happening, but yeah, I think we are severely lacking authentic, powerful, true leadership, and I want to see that change.
Love it. I'm here for it too. So let's shift back to the back end of the business a little bit. So how are you finding, or what methods and channels are you finding most effective in acquiring your customers at the moment?
There's a lot of change right now happening really quick
Yeah.
in the industry. I'd say up until a year ago, it was much easier to gain clients just by being out there doing your thing.
Mhm.
Now there are a lot of coaches, there's a lot of great marketing going on, and there's a lot to choose from. Plus, you have ChatGPT AI, you could just go on, you could type your problem in, you got a great solution right there. The challenge
Yeah.
is implementing it, and that's where coaching comes in. So, for example, like if I can help someone find their purpose very quickly, it's something I'm really good at doing. The coaching comes in, I'm like, okay, now we're going to activate that. For me, I am also exploring a new avenue. I've just finished writing my book. It's been a 14-year
Nice.
journey. I'm very excited to launch it. So I'm diving into that as a platform for my message in terms of speaking and coaching and dialing in my niche. I think LinkedIn is a really amazing platform. There's less noise on LinkedIn. And if you're looking
Very
for professionals, then it's a great platform. They have some great software to connect with the right kind of people you're looking for. And referrals and building out based on your network and expanding your network, doing referrals. I think what you're doing with podcasting, I've done a lot of interviews. I had a past podcast, interviewed about 50 people for my book. And it's amazing when you start interviewing people how you can scale that and connect with more and more influential people on that kind of a journey. You can't do it
Yeah.
all. Certainly, focus is a requirement today. And so, trying to do it all makes that focus really difficult. And so, finding what works for you and committing to that and streamlining it as much as possible, that's an area of growth for me. I'm in a big transition right now because of all the changes in the industry.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the paths I'm exploring right now and exploring and finding what does work.
Awesome. And then in terms of the marketing and sales process, do you have a team behind you that helps with that as well? Or is
I do
it,
not right now. Worked with 3 different teams and haven't got the results yet, which is very common with marketing.
yeah,
Um, and there's a lot of marketing companies out there. I think very few of them do a real job where you're like, wow. And I haven't found the right one yet.
amazing. Okay. So are they more was a done for you services that kind of come in and then promised a lot, or is it someone that helped try to set you up in that respect? Because I feel, as you say, with the world of leadership, coaching kind of evolving in the past year, I feel like marketing has done the same thing. It's like the whole online boost has
Absolutely.
really jumped up and the noise is there. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's fair
I
enough
did
for you.
some email marketing. That didn't work very well. Sounded like it worked really well for like brick and mortar or industrial companies. I did a LinkedIn lead marketing contract, and I think I would do that again with another company. I think it's a great strategy. It didn't work. We did a few months and we didn't get the results. It is something that I'm looking at again in the future. And marketing's critical. You've got to get it right. You've got to be doing it well. You got to find your platform.
Yep.
And right now in my journey, I'm looking for that for myself, what that's going to be.
Amazing. And so with that, I kind of want to touch on what the plans are for the next 12 months. With all that kind of back end work going on, what do the next 12 months look like? Have you got any specific any specific goals or targets that you're working towards, or any nice projects that are in the pipeline as well?
Totally. Yeah. What I didn't say in terms of marketing and next steps are connecting in person with people.
Yeah.
I've been spending too much time behind the screen and I need to get out. I love being with people, interacting, having real human
Yeah.
interaction. And
It's via Zoom, but it's nice in person as well sometimes. Yeah.
exactly. So my goal when I get home, I fly home Saturday, I'm going to be going out and meeting deans of colleges and universities and guidance counselors, administrators, offering my services to support 2 to 3 colleges and universities around my area. I'll dedicate a day per week to that, continuing to
Nice.
deepen the MVP men. We're bringing in some new elements, building out some structure, and planning our next surf retreat in January. Launching my book, Chasing the Mirage, which helps people identify the version of success they've been operating with, which is usually broken, will never
Hmm.
allow them to succeed, and helping them redefine success in their own way. And stepping into this advisor role for Impact Accelerator and serving people and companies to identify their company mission, vision, values, purpose, and direction, and help develop company culture and leadership behind that.
Awesome, amazing. And we mentioned it before, but as you see the industry evolving and the masses turning, how do you see yourself positioned in that to help you
Yeah.
stay in front of the trend?
Honestly, I think there's less true coaches who call themselves coaches. I think the majority of the coaches out there are more great marketers or great salespeople and aren't true coaches. I have a few certifications in coaching. I really value what true coaching is in terms of it's not consulting, it's not giving advice, it's not here, let me tell you what to do because this is what worked
Yeah.
for me. It's based on the truth that you have your own answers within you. And my role is to witness you and ask you the right questions to help bring your answers out of you.
Yeah.
And that's the noise for me. And that's where I stand out in one, my experience, and also just how would I say it? My experience and just being a true coach who isn't, I don't know how to say it.
I
Who
know
could
you mean
just
the
edit that
integrity.
part.
You have the integrity behind it as well. I understand exactly what you're saying. If you my point would be like you've got the coaching side of it. If you can get the marketing and then the sales side
Yeah,
on top of it, like you've got all three pillars.
exactly.
If that's fair of me saying without blowing a trumpet too much.
Yeah. Yeah. When
But
I
yeah,
tell someone I've coached for 17 years, worked with these top companies, done over 14,000 coaching sessions,
yeah.
and I have these certifications, I think that really stands out from a lot of the young coaches out there. Nothing against people starting out and doing their thing. I just want to be a voice for what true coaching is and the power of that.
I love it. No, 100%. And I feel like it's needed. As you say, there's a lot of noise in the industry at the moment. A lot of people online out there just pushing something that maybe is not right and not correct. So you need to have the
Yeah.
integrity behind you to deliver the product at the end of the day. What would you say at the moment is your biggest bottleneck or like biggest challenge in making all this happen?
Integration. I'm a visionary. So something as simple as taking an idea and a vision and distilling it down into like copy and
Yeah.
marketing and pain points is
Yeah.
critical. I struggle with that. And so having the right people also using AI in an effective way to streamline that for myself. And I think my passion to serve all people. I am currently, you've noticed the several projects I have on the go, currently
Yeah.
streamlining that. That's one of my bigger challenges as well.
Yeah, okay, I completely get that as well, moving forward from there. So, as we finish off and come into the end of time, I do want to pick your brain in a little bit of a lightning round. What would you say is one, I might know the answer to this already, but I'm still going to ask you the question. What would you say is one big tool or resource that has been a game changer so far for you?
Curiosity. I'll sway away from AI because
Oh, you
clearly
knew
it's a
that
game
one.
changer, and you
I was
want
like,
to
we caught
learn
it up
it. It's incredible.
already.
Curiosity,
Love
getting
it.
curious, asking better questions.
Definitely. And then if you could go back, maybe let's go back to 2008 to a younger self that was just at the start of your own journey, and you could leave him with one bit of advice to move forward with, what would that be?
I've really gained a massive amount of value from identifying the archetypes that I work with in myself. Number one, the ones that are operating by default, unchosen, and the ones that I trust most to lead in my life. And so I think even though I've been working with my archetypes for about 14 years, I'd say the sooner the better. And identifying what are the most trusted versions of yourself that you trust to lead most,
Yeah,
and tuning in and learning ways on how to align with that future version of yourself that you want to become versus just this is who I am, I'm screwed and I'm limited in this way. Actually, you have access to any version of yourself that you can even dream up.
love it. The word purpose, ironically, was what popped in my head straight away. Work with purpose in mind. So maybe ties in nicely with actually the message you've come through the whole way. But yeah, crazy. So to our listeners who are maybe just at the start of their own journey, what piece of advice could you leave them with as they look to embark on entrepreneurship for founders?
Believe in your biggest, wildest dream. And if people tell you it's impossible and but you keep dreaming it, find people around you and surround yourself with people who believe in you. There is a difference between a dream and a fantasy. You want to identify what is your true vision and dream, not just for your business, but who you can become, what you can create, the person you look at in the mirror 10 years, 1 year from now. Definitely, because our purpose, an aspect of it, it isn't just this positive thing. Like you connect with your
Yeah,
purpose, and all of a sudden everything's amazing. Uh, the two most common words that come up when people identify their purposes, it's exciting, but it's also scary. So we
yeah,
need to identify and start to understand what fear is and how to work with it in a productive way versus having it take us out and shut us down before we even get started on what our true purpose is.
amazing, powerful stuff. And with that, any final last words from you, Brodie, before we sign out? Where can people reach out to connect and then work with you if they wish to do?
I'm on Instagram at The Purpose Quest. Same with YouTube at The Purpose Quest. You can find me on LinkedIn, Brodie Whitney. And my book will be out soon, Chasing the Mirage. So stay tuned. And yeah, I look forward to connecting. If anyone feels a desire, like if something was inspiring or struck a chord for you, reach out. I love connecting and I'm here to serve.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please go and reach out to Brodie and connect with him in the best way possible. And don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was crazy to share your incredible insight and journey with us. So, appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you very much, Brodie. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we were able to go from 0 to 30 million in less than 3 years. And until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.